Hi, my name is Jason Jamerson. I'm sending an audition. I will be performing a Shakespearean rendition of Mystical's club banger "Shake It Fast," the edited version. Hark! All thine players and pimps right here in the place to be. I thought I told you dudes before. You peasants are not formidable to me. And this is not for no small booties, no, sir. That will not be permissible. But if you feel you have the roundest rump, then, mama, come gyrate in a rapid fashion. Scene. Thank you for your consideration.
Greetings and what up, though? It's your boy Jason Jamerson, and welcome to the Jason Jamerson podcast. With me, as always, is my main man, 100 Grand, my cousin, Kev BJ. What's going on, Kev?
What up, though, cuz? How you doing, man? Great to see you. Happy Monday. What up, though, Shawntay?
Hello there. What up, though? Happy Indigenous
What up, though?
People Day.
Sorry. Yes, Happy Indigenous People Day. Yeah. That is something I most definitely needed to text a few people, but I did not. I should have, though. So
you still got time.
I do. I'm gonna tell. Matter of fact, after I do this introduction, you gave me a whole lot of stuff. I'm like, man, we all know who she is, but I'm gonna read it anyway. So today's guest, we got a very, very special guest today. Today, for your Emmy consideration actress born and raised on the east side of Detroit since the day she discovered her purpose, Shawntay Dalon. Is it Dalon? How do you pronounce that?
Dalon. Yeah, you said it right.
Dalon. I knew it. Shawntay Dalon has been hitting the ground running. Shawntay completed 2 seasons of Comedy Central's Detroiters, playing the recurring role of Chrissy Duvet Cramlin. She has also recurred on Netflix's I Think You Should Leave, and Shawntay also landed a recurring role on season 2 of Freeform's award-winning show Good Trouble as Lisa Hill. You can also check out Shawntay in the season 8 premiere episode of NBC's Brooklyn Nine-Nine, playing the role of Aisha Fulton. Even with these accomplishments, Shawntay prides herself most as still being the survivor advocate that she's been for over 15 years. Once a depressed, hurting teen, Shawntay found joy in Christ and as well by helping others through their pain. As a survivor herself, Shawntay found passion in helping others find and see their God-given purpose. Be it acting, writing, dance, spoken word, or a simple ear to listen, Shawntay chooses to use her gifts to spread faith, love, and courage. You can check out her screenwriting projects, I Am My Sister's Keeper and Forbidden, on Amazon Prime, Tubi, IMDb TV, Apple TV, and more. Shawntay's mission for her latest project, Booked, is to recover victims and revive survivors. And you guys can go on www.bookfilm.com for more information on that. So,
thank you.
Hey, no problem. Thank you for being on today. Thank you for
asking me, Jason. I appreciate you.
No problem. And before we get started, viewers, if you are watching this and you guys have something you want to say or ask, go ahead and put it in the comments, and we will get to it when we can get to it. So let's start off with this. That was a lengthy list of projects.
Listen, I was like, my manager sure know how to write. I love it. Yeah.
I'm sitting there like this. She'd have been in everything. And the funny thing is, I've seen it all. I've seen it all. I'm sitting there like, I've seen that.
Hey, you featured in Book.
I did feature a book. Y'all gonna have to see it to see what it was. I can't tell y'all nothing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So you started acting at what age?
Oh goodness. My siblings will tell you out of the womb, but she's always dramatic. But I would say me and my some of my siblings will do like plays on our block, Gray Street, Gray and Mac, East Side again. What side you from, Jason?
Oh, I'm from the West Side. I'm scared already.
Okay, I mean, I guess so. No, we used to do like skits in our backyard for the neighborhood, and we would charge like $1, like literally charge $1 for people to come. And they would, and I remember my dad had like these 2 broke down cars in the backyard, and people would sit on them, like like an actual where they could sit to watch us perform. And my mom would sell dinners and everything, and so that was around like 10 years old. And so it started more so in that way, but I always just loved performing. I loved acting. I enjoyed dancing. My mom loved dancing more than I did when it came to what I would love to do. But I did enjoy dancing and stuff, but acting had this hold on me. So I would say about 10 years old is when I like really started.
That's what's up. It seemed like all of that support, just them making dinners and letting you guys do it in the backyard. That probably helped nurture all that into.
No, it did, especially going like seeing a lot of parents, well, in the business, seeing how some parents don't support their children in the business, and it's like that's just some hobby, just let it go. So I'm thankful that it was like, no, go ahead, do it. Like, go ahead and do it. Of course, as I got older, it was, you got a plan B? Because, I mean, this is nice, but, because you will want to get upset with people that say that, but I also understand why they do, because when God put on our heart with a calling, like, I love how that meme goes, like it wasn't a conference call. So everyone is not going to understand.
Okay.
I wish I could take credit for that one. But it's literally a meme that goes around and says, don't get mad that people don't understand your calling, because it wasn't a conference call. Like, we know.
Right.
Like, we know when it's
100%
when it's our purpose in life. But people that and which is nothing wrong with it, but if they have this feeling to where they want organization, so they want to go to a 9 to 5 and know exactly what time they get off and clock in, that is totally fine. We need that.
Most definitely.
When we go on a set, we leave when
it's time to go.
So, and we would stay there. We would literally stay there forever, because it's our passion. I never forget. I took somebody with me on call it a gig. It was years ago, but I was an extra in it. But during that time, I still took extra work as like I'm the lead. I took it seriously, but they asked me if someone that was with me, could they join in? We need another person. I'm like, sure. So I was like, hey, it was a guy I was dating at the time. I said, they need another person. You want to do it? He's like, yeah. And I tell you, 30 minutes, he was like, why we got to do this over and over again? I'm tired. And I'm like, just do it right.
I completely understand. Completely understand how that is.
So when it's ours, it's ours. So I've seen how on one end parents do support it, and on another end, it's like, if you don't stop that childish stuff, you're gonna be on TV. Oh, you're gonna be on stage telling jokes. That's what you're gonna do all your life. Like, know. So it's just a matter of also having confidence in what you know and believe, because I sit back and look around and say, wow, I remember praying for this. I remember praying for what I have now. And I'm so thankful to God. Like, I remember it was a faraway dream to think that I could be living in LA and living in LA in my own place. Like, you know how much LA costs?
Oh, I know. I went out there. I went out there. I was staying in my homeboy's apartment, and it was like him and like 15 other people.
That's how I started. Like, listen, people, they really believe, and I like give some people, other folks can't do this, because it's like when I talk about my home, it's like I'm talking about family. You can't come in and start talking about my family. No, I talk about my family. You shut up. So when I like give constructive criticism to my Detroiters, I can do. Don't you outside come and try to do. So I just want to let that be known. Every time I'm about to give constructive criticism, don't understand it's the family conversation, and you don't come at me about Detroit. But I will say, it's like kind of a false narrative to some of the actors and performers in Detroit, to where they believe that as soon as they come to LA, things are going to pop, things are going to happen, and it's going to be perfect. No, I was on a national television show, and I still, when I moved here, had to live with about 10 other people. If I wanted to make sure that I was at least going to sustain myself for over a year. Because yes, I could have came here and got the lavish apartment that I wanted and everything, just so it can appear, you know, a certain way. But I'm about longevity, and I wanted to make sure that I wasn't moving here and then having to move right back to Detroit, having a going away party, and then I come back 6 months later. Like,
been to a few of those going away parties.
Man, I had that. Look, I had that before, and I felt bad because I remember, never forget. You never forget at the going away how everybody gives. I always knew it. I always knew she'd make it. Always knew, and you know, and then you gotta come right back. You be like, dang, I wanted to go ask for their money back.
Right. Like, what happened to that card?
Like, what happened to that? You spent that, you know, but I didn't want that. And so I had to build that. I had to get a job. When I got the blessing of Good Trouble, that was my very first wasn't my first booking here, because my commercial agent was giving me setting me up with commercial auditions and stuff. My first like big gig was Good Trouble, and thank God it was a recurring. But with that, again, Michigan is a right to work state, so I could work in SAG. See, learn the business of this craft.
That most definitely was going to be. I was about to say, since we already in the vein of false narratives.
Michigan is a right to work state. So that means you can work in Michigan on SAG projects and not have to become SAG. And it sometimes make you feel, get this again, I will probably keep saying this, false narrative about a few things. Like, oh, I could do this, I could do that. But as soon as they see that record that you got, which is great. It's great that you're getting those SAG projects. It's awesome. But when you step foot outside, if you want to have a successful career outside of the city that you're living in, then you are going to have to become SAG. Now, if you want to be the hottest, dopest performer in that city, my goodness, go ahead. Do what you do. Do all the independent films, independent work that you absolutely want to do. Do everything within that city that you can accomplish. And if that makes you happy, it's totally fine. But if you want to excel outside of your city, then you're going to have to become SAG, which is not a bad thing. It is pros and cons to it, but it's not a bad thing. So when I step foot into LA and I booked a gig here, I booked a recurring role on a national television show outside of Detroit, outside of Michigan. They saw that I got to pay to be in SAG. Yeah. And so it was, oh goodness, you got to pay. And they do have a plan, like a month, like a plan that you can get on. I had to get on that plan, but I like all the money that was in my account had to first go to that. And I didn't want to have to be struggling of my bills and stuff. So I was like, dude, I gotta hurry up and get a job. And first thing I saw was a dishwasher. Jason, I was watching myself on Good Trouble while I was in the back of this Italian restaurant, washing people dishes, because I'm like, dude, I got to pay this SAG. But right after you pay that, man, I'm not being funny here, but it doesn't that fee amounts to nothing to what you would get when you start getting work. Because when you're SAG, the price is not yesterday's price. Today's price is not yesterday's price. Look, you gonna have
Shawntay,
to.
can you just explain to our viewers who may aspire to be in the industry as well what SAG is? I believe that means Screen Actors Guild, correct?
Yes. SAG is Screen Actors Guild. Is most of everything has a union. Even the theater. The theater have a union. Musically has a union right now. The crew workers, which I want to give them an applause because they just voted yes for their strike. I know that it would seem awkward that an actress, producer, and a writer is clapping it up for crew members to go on strike. But I will say that we all across the board deserve our to get paid what we deserve, to be treated with respect. And there are rules right now that I'm not in agreement, that even as an actress, I'm not in agreement with, that crew members go through. Like, it's rules that we, like when I produce something that I gotta go by, because it's just what the rules are right now. But I'm like, no, I'm not gonna have them somebody, just because you are an assistant or a PA does not mean you can't sit down when you're working freaking 12 hours. Like, it's stupid stuff that even like across the board, like, and I'm talking about independent and union, that people do to workers. We probably been on those sets that where
I've been paying attention like that,
where like literally they don't think about the lighting, the gaffer that need to light all this stuff, but you're not letting him take a break to go pee. Like, it's not that serious. Like, okay. So clap it up to them.
clap it up to the crew.
I am totally in agreement, and I advocate for right. Just right. Even if we on a different sides of what you think is right, my goodness, go, you be on your side, I can be on mine. But I would rather be on the side of history that I strongly believe that is right for everyone. It doesn't mean just right for me as a producer. Oh, this is gonna save me money if we just shoot for 24 hours. You know, no, people need to sleep, and it's too many workers that's been leaving set, driving half sleep, and getting into car crash and dying. So
I can only imagine. I know the very first movie set I was on was when they did Real Steel here in Detroit.
I'll never forget Real Steel, yeah.
And I was in 3 different. You can see me at the end of the movie. I'm not gonna say that I stole the scene, but the suit I was wearing, you know. But I remember there was one night where we were there from it was really the whole day. It was like from 6 in the morning. I think my call time was 6 a.m. We left at 2 in the morning, and they had a call time the next day at 6 a.m.
See,
and I'm like,
now that's the problem. And I understand, as an actress, producer, and writer and director, I understand about long shoots. I get it, but be fair with it. If we finna be on this set for 10 to 12 hours, that roundabout time, we're not finna be back here in no AM.
Right.
No, let me chill. And that, because I totally get it. I understand it across, on both sides. But again, be fair. If we're gonna be here this long, and don't feed me no hot and ready.
Oh, that's exactly what they fed us. They fed us hot and ready's that night, and then expected me to not get the itis for the morning and be up in the morning.
Treat people with some respect. That's all you can do. I'd rather you attempt to do the best that you can, and then it don't go that way, than for you to just be like, no, we're just gonna do this. No, and if you don't have the money, you're not ready to shoot a movie yet. I repeat, if you don't have the money, you're not ready to shoot the movie or do the play yet. Stop having people come to rehearsals for dang on days and hours, all these long hours, and you ain't paying them for rehearsal.
They give you refreshments.
It not look. Now
you got Oreos and a grape drink.
Look, I haven't even gotten on the food part, but if you are going to have someone at these rehearsals for more than 2 or 3 hours, you need to pay them. And I will even say, put in your thing for those 2 or 3 hours if you can. And if if people are in agreement and don't mind being there for the 2 or 3 hours, because I get it, we all got to start somewhere. Because I started there. Like I couldn't pay for rehearsals and stuff, but I also wasn't having people there for like the whole freaking day, unless it was the of course the
reading.
No, the tech. Everybody know the tech day is going to be a long day, but again, even with that, feed them some real food. Like, okay, I digress. Yeah. But I forgot what even the question was. I could go.
I don't even think we even asked a question yet. I think we just been going.
Okay, I'm done.
We just been going. Cam, you had a question?
Yeah, well, just one more thing. So you talk about the Guild. Obviously you're from Detroit, so you're familiar with unions and how they are in our auto industry, and we got a lot of family, friends, connections to those.
Yes.
Can you talk about like what kind of cut comes out of that for them, or like what's that? Okay. You sounded like you were in a hole with them when you signed it up and you had to pay for that. Can you just help people understand?
No problem. Yeah. This is the rundown. I love how I just saw Taraji recently on it wasn't The Real. I don't know if it was The Real. It was some show. I think it was The Real. And she was breaking down how the way people think about money when, you got paid $150,000 to do this film. No, you cut that in half, give that to the tax man, the taxpayers, and then after that, you got to pay your agent, your manager. So that's 30% to come out of that. So you're really getting how much? 25% of that money that you're getting. So people need to really understand the business of this craft, and that goes into forward of how you do contracts. But SAG, you go in and the the fee changes depending on how much you're getting paid for that production. So that's the thing. But overall, I believe the actual fee outside of Michigan is $1,200. That's the initial union fee. It's $1,200. But I think in Michigan and Chicago, like you will only have to pay like $600. But as soon as you leave outside of it, it goes back to $1,200. See, this don't want me to be great. Okay, there you go.
You still hear you though.
Okay, as long as y'all hear me. As long as y'all hear me. So you pay the $1,200, but it again, like I said, they have a payment plan to where you can pay like $200 a month, $300 a month, because they work and they want you to do this. They want you to be in the project and things like that. And this is why I say when I talk about cons, I would say that is the con, but it's really not, because some of that money even goes to your retirement fund. Like it's money going back to you in a way, but it is a union. So you do have to pay union stuff, but that also still comes with stuff. When I became SAG, I was able to go to tons of SAG events where I was able to network with the one and only Angela Bassett, Jim Carrey. I could literally go down a freaking list. Chris Rock, Adam Sandler. Like I'm talking about Will Smith, Jada. Like you can actually go to these events and not just sit in an audience. You will sit in the audience, listen to them, but because you're SAG, because you're now on this level, to be honest, you have access to stuff. And one of the best things I think people take for granted is actually sitting down listening to wisdom. Like people just want you to just give them stuff.
Right.
Just give me the job. Just give it to me. Or do you want someone to tell you how to get to put you up on game so you can get multiple jobs? So you know when you walk into this room, you know what you're doing. When you walk into this room with this casting directors, to know that not all casting directors are the same. To know how to read your notes when they come through. And it's ridiculous to me that I still know actors that when they get a script, they don't read the whole script. They just read their lines.
Wow.
That's crazy to me.
Before I even knew I was supposed to do that, I was doing that. It sounded like the thing to do.
Like, Jason, you will think. And it's not, and I'm not, again, this interview ain't throwing, like, people be wanting me to throw shade at them.
Listen, I'm all about, so here's the thing. Things don't change until you start shaking them up and get them uncomfortable. Don't nobody change. When they're comfortable doing what they're doing, they're going to keep on doing it.
You know what?
And I'm 100%, and we had a guest on here a few weeks ago. She was another actress. She's from here in Detroit. Her name is Jeanette J. Drake. And she was hesitant to bring up some of the issues. She wanted to talk about some of the issues that she sees on set just here, but she didn't at the same time. I'm all for it. One, because I don't want to make the same mistakes by mistake. You know what I'm saying? It'll legitimately be a mistake. But then two, there's a lot of people who just think they're just gonna get a camera and just like, all right, let's start shooting. And there's steps to it. There's a process. There's things you have to do.
Pre-production. Now I was on the actors, but let me go to my producers, writers, directors. Listen, pre-production is an essential part to filmmaking. It is not an option. It is not a well, I guess we can, because guess what? The amount of time you put into pre-production is how your product is going to come out. That is a fact. Can't no one tell me, not one person, because the thing is, filming is a chaotic experience of itself, no matter how much pre-production you do.
Right.
So when you don't put work into it, it's trash. When you go to the Bel Air Center and go to the premieres and you sit down and it's big and it's flashy, everyone has on the best outfit. Oh my gosh, they look amazing.
I'm so Bel Air Center.
Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. Yes, take a picture of me. I'm good. And then you sit in the theater. And you gotta whisper to your person you came there with, like, what the hell? What is? I can't hear it. I can't see it. What is the story? Do you get it? I don't understand. It's pre-production. Like, literally sit down. Let people read your stuff before you shoot. It's too much. And then this is not just a Detroit thing. So I don't even want it to be like but to let the chips fall where they may. But if you
feel offended by it, then I'm talking to you.
And it's genuinely in love, like, because again, we all start somewhere, but you only got two. You can't. One time is a mistake and you didn't know. Second time you did. It's purposeful, or you need to change your circle because people are not telling you the truth.
Exactly.
That's the thing. It's too many people that want to be yes people to folks. And it's like, no, write your stuff and don't send it to people that want to be a part of your project. Because they don't want to tell you this suck. They want the shine. So they're like, no. I would even say family members and stuff. Let them read it. Like people that actually like understand writing though. Because then as a family member, they're like, oh, you putting directions in this. Like, I don't want to hear that somebody walked out. You got to write that in the screenplay. So just let them, but people that actually have success in this. And I'm not saying, and I hesitate when I say the word success because people think because it's on Tubi that it's success. That it's an accomplishment.
It's an accomplishment.
It's an accomplishment. But I've seen trash on Tubi. I've seen trash on Amazon Prime.
On Amazon Prime.
I've seen trash on IMDb TV. So you can't just assume just because someone got something online and available that they know what they're doing. Like you gotta ask somebody, can you be a mentor to them, like be a mentee to them? Like sometimes if you reach out to some of these producers and people that got Emmys and Oscars, if you get into their group sessions, like it was so much free stuff in 2020 to where it's ventured out into 2021. because people knew that they wasn't doing nothing for Black folks, especially in the entertainment industry. So it was like, you know what? I'm checking myself. You know, I'm about to open up. Like, I took advantage of the writer of Big Bang, one of the writers on Big Bang Theory. He had this whole thing that he was doing for just Black folks, to where he was like, I want to mentor y'all for a couple of months. I got into that. He literally just sent it to us an email last night. It was weird, real late. I don't know about he needs to go to sleep. But he sent the email just checking in on us and stuff. But I went to his whole writing class all 2020. Because I'm like, yeah, I'll scoop that one up too. I'm like, whatever wisdom that I could get from these people, I'm going, like, folks that I see their accomplishments and success and stuff. I'm gonna get it. Not everybody who do a class can teach.
See that? I'm about to hit the dough. You out here preaching? Ain't nobody tell you come on here and preach today.
I don't. Let me. Listen. One things in BioLA is everybody that we know is everybody can get you on. Everybody's a producer. Everybody's a manager. People can say stuff for so much. Like, I've literally seen people pay hundreds, I'm talking about almost thousands of dollars, to be taught the wrong thing from people. Wow. Like, I would sit there and listen to the stuff that they learn, and I'm like, that's not like the real stuff. Like, it's not. Like, they're teaching you from their city perspective. You can only go where what you know. Literally, you can only teach what you know. And only if only what you know is from your city perspective, then that's what you're going to teach. And you're going to teach it with passion and with love. Mm-hmm. It's going to be passionately wrong.
That's...
Even Lauryn Hill, I love, L Boogie, y'all. I love Lauryn Hill. Absolutely love her. Even she said, like, you can be the wrongest person and still get the loudest applause. Mm-hmm. Do not let applause sway you. Like, literally, I'm not just, I don't let, because I have networks under my belt to make me think that I've arrived. I'm still in acting classes. Right. I'm still in writing classes, which, let's go on that one. For anybody to say that they don't need an acting class, run away from them. Don't listen to what they say. Stop liking their statuses. Stop bucking them up. Just stop.
Listen,
just stop. And I know exactly what I'm talking about right now as I'm saying this. Stop, Detroit. Stop hyping that man up.
Hey, what are we talking about? I just don't know. I'm not privileged.
See, listen, I can only go so far before it becomes not in love and God checks me. But listen, if you know, you know. So listen to me, y'all. I'll tell you off air. But if you know, listen, y'all. Stop telling that. Stop liking his statuses. He needs to go to acting class. Everybody do. Listen, I'm about to get it.
I'll sum it up. LeBron James is arguably one of the best basketball players on the planet, right? Arguably
right now,
the best, right now.
Yes.
He still works with a team of trainers.
I'm so glad you use. I always love using sports as an example. Like, how can you let LeBron or Steph Curry say, I ain't training no more. I won a championship. I ain't gonna train no more. Like, how are you not gonna train this instrument that God and blessed you with? Because it's really it's a gift.
Yeah.
This is a gift y'all got. Like, but that's my thing. When people go around start like spewing pride, because that's what it is. Pride and arrogance. When they start spewing pride and arrogance and wrap it up and make it look like humbleness and make it look like confidence, you take it and you like, ooh, so this is, I know this now. I know. No. I would say this, and I would get off of this person. if he does not need classes, why is his IMDb still in the featured extra run? You can't. You can only say guy number 2 for too long. And that's the thing. We all start somewhere. And there's nothing wrong with that. But it is something wrong with that when you're there and then telling people that they don't need something to go further. That's not okay. That's when I do start commenting on people's status. Sometimes I just scroll, be like, ooh, the ignorance. And I am a queen of unfollow, delete, and block. I don't feel like arguing with people. It's just like, okay. It's folks that literally will say something. I would have auditioned for a show and know the information, and somebody will put out something that's totally untrue, and I would keep scrolling. But I'm like, that's not, God ain't put me on this earth to do all of that. But when I feel like you're trying to get a whole group of people and say, come on with me, that's when I feel the obligation of, oh, wait a minute, you finna walk into a ditch and you trying to take this crowd with you. That's not okay. So for anybody to tell folks that they don't need acting classes, that one of the best things I heard at this event that I went to years ago was from Mrs. Pauletta Washington. And she explained how her husband, the one and only Denzel Washington, was still being trained. So you can stop. Like anything you say to me after that, you can stop. No one has arrived. I
always said this is like with anything I did. My whole mantra has always been, if you're not getting better, you're getting worse. And it's not necessarily the fact that your talent is getting worse, but the people who are training harder, the people who are working harder, are getting better than you are. So where you were number 1 at first, you used to have the best jump shot, but now people are shooting the jump shots from half court.
And I don't think that's what I don't think they understand that this craft evolves. Like it's not just something like we figure out different ways to push it. I couldn't stand for having to find out how to use Instagram.
Oh my goodness.
But I was like, dang, this is where we are now.
I was just about to say, stand-up comedy is like, it went from, the stand-up comedians, and then all of a sudden the internet comedians came out of nowhere.
Yep.
And then the world shut down. So there was no stand-up comedy. It was just internet comedians. Mm-hmm. And we're sitting here like, well, where do we fit in? You know what I'm saying?
Interesting. And that is people don't think about that. And that's why I also preach about literally having multiple streams of income, because my God, you never know when something, like, who would have thought? Like, who would have thought that the world would have just shut down? Like, I did personally take 2020 to find more love for myself, because when acting stopped, I had to ask myself, dang, like, that was the first time I'm talking about in all my years. As you asked me earlier, how long did I when I started acting? From then to up to 2020, there was not one year where I wasn't performing. So when I had to stop, it was like, dang. So do I love myself outside of performing? That was something like really a real question for me, to where I had to like, wait a second, I didn't let this become God. And I like, no. So I stopped. Well, at first I didn't have to stop everything, because everything stopped itself. But when I did start getting calls from my management of, hey, do you want to audition and stuff for this? I declined. I was like, no, because I needed to be in therapy. I started going to therapy. I started like really focusing in, and I started writing a lot as well. Just honing on who I am, because if we make this gift the God that we serve, then that's where the wrong is in. Like, I serve one God. And so I don't want to make anything an idol. But it also goes into, when you don't get the like, because that's why even the lady recently, when she spilled all the beans for Facebook and Instagram, it's like, okay, so when you do post something and you only get about 20 likes, you want to delete it because you ain't got, it's embarrassing to you because you didn't get the likes that you thought you wanted. And it's like, it's crushing your self-esteem. Why is that? You liked it when you posted it.
Right.
Yeah.
What, like, that's you post a picture. Oh my goodness, ain't nobody commenting telling me, ain't nobody loving on me yet. Ain't nobody loving me. Hurry up and delete it. It's like, no, that when stuff starts control your life like that, that's when you need to step back and be like, no, I don't. Now it's like, dude, I will post something. I don't give a darn if I got one like on it. I like me.
Exactly.
Like, you know,
I posted this for me.
I posted this for, like, literally.
Well, Shawntay, you talked about 2020 being a year of discovery for yourself and finding love and all those type of things. What did you find? Like, what was that discovery like? And what did you find? What would you say right now Shawntay has found that she loves her and is loving of her?
First, forgiveness. I realized that I didn't forgive myself for a lot of stuff. And mostly of letting myself know that I am forgiven in a lot of things, because I think it's easy to say what other people have done to us and things of that nature, and which is valid, but it's also things where we carry around where we feel guilt about some things. It was some things even concerning my attack that I felt like my fault, and though I was preaching to other survivors of nothing is your fault, nothing is your fault, that it was they're wrong, it was nothing your fault, I realized I was not believing that wholeheartedly with myself. So with that, the passing of my mother, like, it was a lot of things that I had to confront. And so right now I can say that I found forgiveness, I found real love, and I found real confidence and a voice. I think all is like a voice, because coming to LA was rebuilding. It was like in Detroit, I feel like I did hone a foundation in my city, which is I loved it. When you go to another city, nobody know you. Right. Like, you gotta like prove yourself again and stuff. And though I will say it helped, Detroiters helped a lot. Like, people, when I would go into these, I got some auditions because they was like, oh, I remember her as Chrissy. Like, okay, she's from Detroiters and stuff. So that stuff matters. The stuff you're doing in your city, it does matter. But it was also like, where is the confidence and the voice of me knowing my no? Right. I don't have to say yes to everything just because, dang, I'm building here, so I can't rock the boat. No, I'm not comfortable with that. So no, thank you. I'll pass. But I appreciate you guys for sending me that. You know, I appreciate the offer, but nah, I'm fine. You know, finding my voice of saying, you know what, I love you and I do respect you, but I'm gonna need that same respect in return when you now asking me to work on this, and I need that respect to be in the number that you passing over to my manager. Yes, I love you though. I appreciate you. See, but that voice wasn't there prior to 2020. But when 2020, I was like the amount, but I know if I did not take that time to just stop everything and really focus on that, it would have been a sitting down, just wasting time type thing. And I didn't want that. I didn't want to hurry up and dive into something because I was doing nothing.
Right.
You know, I started acting classes, went to writing classes. Like, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna, and during that time I wrote a book, which it's finished. And it's about honesty. I'm just praying for the courage to release it. So pray for me.
I will.
What's the hookup? What's the hang up? You said courage, but what
Yes.
about it do you feel like is discouraging
Okay.
you from releasing it out? Have you not been this formal, this outward with your story?
I have not. I feel I'm intentional when I speak. So when I am in my advocacy, I say what I want to say, and I reveal what I would like to reveal, and I do what I even if I'm what I'm comfortable and stuff with, I say, and it's not much, like it's not a lot. I'm not like if you ask, I most likely will answer and give you an answer. But with this is now, it's called 8 pivotal things that changed my life. It's get up and get it, but 8 pivotal things that changed my life. And the first one is the pandemic, which because I wrote it in the pandemic, but it's some things in there where it talks about it brings other people involved. And I don't say their real names and stuff, but it is my stories. So it's a matter of finding the courage to release, knowing that not everyone will like what I'm saying. And these are not just people that is like, they don't know me. It's family, it's friends, it's a matter of even telling your truth that people are not attached to, but they will be hurt by it because they love you.
Right.
You know? And it's filled with just secrets, I guess you could say that. But it's also a lot of greatness in it too. Like I've had, again, because you should let people read your stuff before you release it. And I had people read it first and stuff like that. And the feedback I got was amazing because it's not like just some sad drawn out book, but it talks about, it's a chapter in there called Mr. Denzel Washington, on how I legit would not have had Detroiters if I did not meet Denzel Washington. I don't think a lot of people, I feel like I talk about it a lot, but I don't think a lot of people know that connection and know how this transformed to this. And I talk about that stuff. I talk about having the passion to go after your dreams of me moving to LA for the 3rd time. And you know what I'm saying? So it's gonna come. I feel like 2022 next year is definitely gonna be the year. It's just a matter of, I'm human as well, and I try to be as honest as I can, because I think when people get up and make it seem like they are untouchable, unstoppable, absolutely nothing can hurt or stop them. No, I hurt.
Right.
Currently, concerning my would love just for a moment talk about my cousin Jelani Day. He was missing in August, and our family pushed really hard of trying to get him the coverage that was necessary. He was a Black young boy, 25 years old, at ISU student in his
Illinois State University.
Yes, Illinois State University, and he was going for his master's, and he in speech pathology, like he was passionate and everything in that. And during quarantine is when I got closer to Jelani, because what else do you do besides being on Instagram? So we talked about our dreams. We talked about wanting to what our hopes and stuff is, and that he was proud of me and stuff, like, dang, cuz I'm watching you on TV right now. This is crazy. And I'm like, dude, you're in a graduate program at a college, and you're 25 years old, and you passionate about this thing. Like, dude, come chill. Like, you got your stuff. Like, we would always just give each other great encouragement. But he was missing, and the police was not, and I try to make sure to speak what his mother and his family has spoken, and not go outside of that. But the police was not taking this seriously. and was in a matter of what the family had to do the groundwork. The family had to start knocking on doors, passing out flyers. Then his car showed up. His car showed up in a wooded freaking area 60 miles away from where he was last seen at. So his car is now in a wooded area, covered, license plate gone. They find his lanyard thrown further away. They find his other stuff, his keys thrown somewhere else. Again, his license plate still gone. Again, it's no push. There's no unless we gotta do everything we can. And it's finally when the family started really pushing and started really putting it out in the news and stuff, and the Lizzos is sharing it, the Jesse Williams is sharing it, the Viola Davis is sharing, now knowing who Jelani Day is. Now they're now searching and doing what they can, and they did find a body on September 4th, but it was not identified as Jelani Day. So we keep searching. What are you doing? And it wasn't until a couple of weeks ago where it was found out that body weeks ago was my cousin Jelani Day. And that was the blow of, you took weeks to identify. It wasn't even a speedy thing for you guys. I mean, it's sad when you have to ask people on Facebook to call Apple and demand that they release a missing person's phone records. It's ridiculous. I never really liked Apple and iPhone, and I surely don't like them now. But it's crazy that you have to, that even the police won't subpoena and make them give you information so you can find your loved one. But you find out that this corpse is your loved one. And now you have to deal with the fact that not only did you find this decomposing corpse, but now the corpse is mutilated. So you know someone did something to this body, and yet you still would not confirm that this is a homicide. We're still fighting. We won't let this go. We will find out what happened to my cousin. These people will be caught, and Jelani Day will get justice. And that goes, and it's crazy that you have to now become investigators yourself, and it's no secret that I've been defund the police since, especially in 2020, especially with the Breonna Taylors, especially with the George Floyds. And for me to have been out here hitting the ground, getting smoke bombs thrown at us, and cops hitting us with batons just by standing on the sidewalk. People on Instagram and on Facebook, they like to talk and be Twitter fingers and Facebook and talk down on the Black Lives Matter and talk down on protesters. But it's not until it hits home for them to where it's like, where's the protest? Where's the protest? And so I never expected that while I am on the ground protesting for the rights of our people and the rights for other people's lives, don't have to be a family member and stuff, that now I am having to hit the pavement for someone whom I did know, someone who is a family member, and I will continue to do that. And I will ask everyone to use the hashtag what happened to Jelani Day. Again, what happened to Jelani Day? That's JELANIDAY. What happened to Jelani Day? If you need to, it's on my page. I will continue to spread the word about him. I don't feel like it's a coincidence at all that here I am also promoting my short film Booked, which is about sex trafficking, and my cousin body shows up missing a few things. So again, I'm not going to speak outside of what Carmen, his mother, and his siblings and everyone has spoken, because that's respect. And unless they share it, unless they post it, I won't.
Well, thank you for sharing, thank you for sharing the story of the plight of your family and what they're going through. This is very horrific to hear. I've heard a little bit about Jelani Day in that story at Illinois State, and I'm praying for you and your family.
Thank you.
What happened to Jelani Day, for sure. We appreciate you sharing that.
Thank you. I appreciate y'all for letting me talk about it.
There we go, right there.
Thank you, Jason.
No problem. I'm gonna keep that up for a little while too.
I appreciate it.
So you brought up booked. Booked was a web series first.
It was a web series that was considered in the Emmy consideration category when it came out, and it was a shocker to some people. Like we kind of took some hits for that because they was like, this thing look like trash. Like it's not like it's the color, the sound and stuff. But excuse me. Again, it's also not knowing the business with folks, and you want to scream to the mountaintops like, learn your crap, like just Google this stuff and you'll see why. But yes, Booked was in the category of the short form category, and there's some rules with short form. Like if you come looking like a Hollywood $1 million production, that's not the short form category. It has evolved now, and it's now something completely different. But during the time we was in that category, certain things was done for a specific reason. But it was first a web series, and that was the route that I was thinking of just trying to go with it. But I wrote a feature. And so when I wrote the feature, I sent it to an amazing, the creative producer that works for Emmy, Tony award-winning actress. And because I was under like a mentorship program with her and with her company to learn. And that's another thing I would continue to push and encourage of people getting under people that know more than you.
Most definitely.
Get with people that know more than you.
Most definitely.
Come on.
Never be the smartest person in the room.
Never. Look,
be the smartest person in your circle, you're in the wrong circle. Man,
and it's draining because people always want to ask you for stuff and ask you. It's like, dang, can I ask you? But so I sent the feature to the producer and I just asked her to read it. I was like, can you just read this and let me know? And she loved it, but she gave me some creative advice and was like, you know what? I would go this route and do a short first and market it in the short version where so when you about to do your feature, the funding can also be there. People will already be familiar with it. And when you do ask folks for the funding, you already have this amazing project that you can show what you can do. And people want to see that you put your own money into stuff.
Right.
Another part of the business. If you come into people with, you ain't even put a dime in your project, but you asking them to put 20, they're going to be like, no, you're just looking for a handout.
The age-old saying, why would I invest in you when you ain't investing
in you? Like literally, again, one good thing that 2020 brought into my life is not having nowhere to go. So I was able to save and keep my coins. I ain't got nowhere to go. Amazon I had to stop Amazon for me because that's what I think Amazon became like a $1 trillion business doing 2020 because that's what everybody was like, I don't know what to I need to go shopping.
And everything was like 3 weeks late every time you like
pissed me off. Like I did the whole thing about my refrigerator. I didn't even get my refrigerator until they realized I was that chick from Comedy Central. And then I went off on them with that. I was like, I shouldn't have to be that girl from Comedy. It's crazy.
Wow.
Like, because I wanted my refrigerator. I love my refrigerator. I do. I love my refrigerator. I stay in the studio, so I looked at my refrigerator just now. Like, I love my refrigerator. But I saved. So I wasn't going out no place. So I was like, okay, I'm just keep my money. And I but I was able to put that money into Booked. So Booked is a short film that is about a young girl, Portia. I don't say young, but young woman named Portia Lewis, who was, or what she thought she was, cast in a film, but it turned out the producers were actual sex traffickers, and now she has been taken, and the police is now trying to figure out or find her before she is shipped across the country. This is an actual things that happens in this industry. Sex trafficking is not something that you just people just tweet about. It's not just something that's far away of Jeffrey Epstein or R. Kelly, who are sex traffickers. And thank goodness, thank God that they their victims got some form of justice by them being
100%.
Yes, being found guilty of their actions. Harvey Weinstein, all of them. But that this happens, and it is mainly to bring awareness, to let folks know, look, research a project before you just get in your car and go meet someone somewhere. Like, have someone with you before you go. Ask questions. If people find it disrespectful for you to ask them certain questions of, well, I will be, do you mind, like the polite way is, do you mind if I bring someone with me? They will not be in the audition room, but if they have an issue with that, run. Run. Because it's not them saying they got to sit in the audition with you. You want to feel safe. No one should be asking you to meet them at no hotel. And that's not like a conference, first, nothing at night. Let's keep that set. Why did that got to be the frozen picture though? Like, come on, I could have got frozen on some good. Okay, there we go. But if it's at a hotel and a casting call, then it should be tons of people there at this conference, and it shouldn't be after 5 or 6 o'clock. You shouldn't have to meet someone alone at a hotel ever. Not at a hotel, not in no office after 5 o'clock. Like, you shouldn't have. No one should be asking you to take off your clothes in a dang on self-tape or coming in and all. No, you don't. That process is further along. Like, that's when if anybody wants you to take off some clothes, they're gonna do, and they're legit about it, and the project warrants for it. Then one, they're not going to be alone. That's against every rule of SAG and everything. If you report that, then people will be shut down, period. So not only, and let me go back to SAG. 2020, SAG immediately contacted their actors. Are you in financial hardship? What do you need? You didn't even have to say, what do you need? You still need to pay your bills? Give us the number, and they gave it. That's because of dues. When you're in a union, you know what's crazy to me? They will get in a sorority or fraternity in a second. But as soon as you say a union about something that you would get in return of, like with the job, oh, no, I ain't paying that. It's like, but I know people in sororities and fraternities, y'all, they pay dues too. So that goes to stuff. But I am not a respect of just a person, or of just because also in 2020, in the same breath that I was saying thank you so much, SAG, for being there for me, was the same breath I said I'm not okay with y'all, and I'm going to go public if y'all do not address this. I feel like this is racist, and I need y'all to change this information in this booklet. When I was not listened to, I posted it. And that post went viral. And Tasha Smith, Twinkie Bird, I got a call from casting director Twinkie Bird. Like, what you need, this ain't right. Because not everybody read their contracts.
People don't be reading.
I read my contracts. I want to know what I'm saying to you. I want to know what you're telling me, what I need to do. And I want to know because this is a business shit. So I want to know what you expect of me and what I should expect of you. So when I read the new, because it was new rules, now the 2020 hit, but it was just some verbiage in there to where it specifically said that they will advise you not to take transportation in urban areas. I didn't like that because Corona didn't stop at Calabasas. Corona didn't stop at Beverly Hills.
Right.
Coronavirus would jump right into your $1 million car and get you and kill you. So that offended me as being one, because when you use urban, it's really black and people of color.
Almost definitely.
So
you go to a restaurant or something or a nightclub, say, "Oh, no gym shoes, no head scarves, head wraps, no Coogee sweaters." Like, all right, now you getting a little too specific.
Yeah, because they know they can't. They ain't gonna say don't. Okay, let me shut up. Look, you can't even put in there. Don't come in here with no cardigans. Oh, it's gonna be a protest.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna be, because come on, we know a certain demographic wear that. So if you say don't, they gonna be pissed. So when you say you can't wear white tees, come on, you know what you're saying. You know you're saying right. You don't want us there. So that offended me. And so when they wasn't listening to me, I put it out on Instagram and I was vocal. Again, in the same breath that I was saying I love SAG, that they looked out for me, I'm also gonna call you out on your mess. And I thank God they changed it, because I wouldn't shut up. And not only that I wouldn't shut up, but the president at the time did say she did notice that, and it wasn't that was a miss. It was just something missed. I can only assume that her truth is her truth. But all I was thankful for is that it changed. Right. And I am also thankful that God used me to be a vessel in that, because something that sit right with me. And even before I posted, I contacted my agents and manager, and I let them know that I may get some not so good some feedback coming your way. Some people are gonna be calling y'all like, what are your clients doing? And it's your union. So you also have that nervousness of, dang, is my work gonna stop coming in and stuff? But I'm just like, you know what, whatever. I'm first an advocate.
Right. I was about to say it's a higher purpose at the end of the day anyway.
I'm first an advocate. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say I'm a huge proponent of whatever it is you're doing, whatever your purpose is, it's through you, not for you. Whatever it is your purpose is. You know what I'm saying? It's through you to reach somebody else, to help somebody else. It's not for you. Just like when that time we had to sit back, as entertainers in 2020 and sit there and think, what is it that, like, if comedy wasn't here for me, am I satisfied with myself? And the answer was yes. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I told this story before. I don't know if it was on this podcast or a different podcast. The most impactful time I've ever done comedy is when I did comedy one time, because you never know who was going through what. And I was at a bar. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't even at a comedy club, comedy show. I was at a random bar. I went up there, and most people know at this point, I wasn't trying to hide it, but I didn't want to broadcast the fact that I do clean comedy. I just wanted to be funny enough to where you didn't know that I didn't cuss. You know what I'm saying? So I do the set. Lady walks up to me and she says, "Hey, I noticed you didn't cuss and you was the funniest person up there. Wow, you were hilarious. I'm glad I came tonight because I hadn't been out the house in the last 8 months because my husband just passed away 8 months ago. I had not been out the house. My friends dragged me out the house, and I'm glad I came because you were hilarious. You got a lifelong fan." Amen. That to me was better than any amount of money I made doing comedy so far.
Amen. That's amazing.
What I'm saying? And so that's when I realized I'm not trying to get preachy or whatnot, but
no, that's amazing.
you know, people think ministry is just in church. Ministry is everywhere.
No, listen.
No.
That's why I keep trying to tell. Before I get asked to do that, I want to say I never forget the first time I saw you do stand up, and I was like, I went to support Jazar in this at this for this comedy thing, and Jazar Riches, if y'all know, amazing performer and stuff.
Yeah.
But I saw my friend. So but I went to support her, and you was like the host, but also performing. And it was amazing. Like I was cracking up. And then one thing, it wasn't until you was done. No, it wasn't until the other comedian came up and they was cursing, and I was like, yo, that dude didn't even curse. And it clicked because it was like you don't know. This is just some funny stuff. But it wasn't until the other comedian came and he was going in. He was funny, but I was like, oh, okay, that's even doper. I just made up a word. But I love your comedy. Like you are genuinely funny. Like, and I like it. Some folks. Yeah. But you are funny.
I appreciate that.
Laugh. So I when I start acting outside of church, was one of the battles of I didn't even know it was gonna be a battle, but it was a battle coming that started of a battle within myself because of the battle outside of myself. Because people was like, ooh, you doing that? I'm like, well, I'm not playing Shawntay. So what do you want? Like, you only want me to get on here and say Jesus? Right. Like, no, that's not how acting works, baby. Like, and at the time I was in I think the relationship I was in, it was about when I really got into act, like, because at first he was like supportive. I mean, when we were driving to Chicago and things like that, like we supported each other, drive each other to different places, and we were supportive of that. But it wasn't until I start, like, my name and my face start becoming a bit known, and it was, and then that became people in the church and things had more opinions to say, and it will affect him because he like, well, I don't like you having to hug or to kiss another guy. I didn't think it was a bit, and then I didn't think about it until all these people said it, but now it's starting to bother me. And we were together for about 6-7 years when all of this started happening, and I could hear somebody talking. Y'all hear that?
I hear something in the background, but I'm in this room by myself. So
me too. We blame your cousin.
We're gonna blame Ken. We're just gonna call it Ken.
I'm like, I hear people talking, but so it wasn't until that, and I was like, okay, I do love this career though, and it was always sometimes a battle of, so do you want this career or do you want God? And I was like, why are you trying to make it seem like I gotta choose? Like, God gave me this gift. Like, it is some stuff that I don't do if I'm not comfortable within my faith or within who I am, and that's okay. And I feel like that's okay for everybody. But if you try to make it seem like that you're a sinner or destined for hell because you're an actor, I'm sorry. What was your favorite movie again? Who's your favorite actor?
Right.
So it's okay for other people to be sinners and going to hell, but
it's not okay
for me. So now, they okay. It's okay for you to watch it. It's okay because you're participating in the thing. So it just didn't make sense to me. So I was just like, you know what,
Shawntay?
Yes.
I have a question. So aside from like religious implications of there, do you think gender roles has something to do with his point of view of like what you were doing or not doing versus like if he were in that position as well?
No, I have to be honest and say no.
Okay.
Because I do know some women, and I would even say with me, I this evolved into this, because in the beginning I was like, oh, I don't mind if I date an actor, like it's whatever. But it's my experience of going out with actors, and the very last guy I had went out that was happened to be an actor. It has to be trust there, because it's a lot of leeway of in all things. If you are not protective of your faith and of your relationship, if you're in one, then the devil is going to creep in, period. Whether it's acting, comedy, singing, or anything, it's gonna be jacked up. So I would say the guy, if it has to be some amount of trust. But I have seen I have seen actresses that are not comfortable with a boyfriend or husband being in those situations as well. So I think more so it was about what outside people were saying, but then as I got more attention from guys, that's when it became a real big issue for him, because it was like, okay, I don't like these guys, and I don't trust these niggas. So
right.
Which he had grounds to, because some guys I was like, you don't trust him. Like it literally an actor dude that I would not. I told the director, like, we gotta take out the kissing scene, because I know he do too much, and he already asked me out knowing I'm in a relationship. He in a relationship. He asked me out, and I know you gotta cut it or I gotta get out. Wow. Like I literally told her that, and she was like, she went off on him first, and then she was like, okay, it's out. Like, because I want to protect my relationship, and I'm not gonna play those games. I'm not gonna play those games.
No, 100%. So we definitely gotta get you back on here for part 2, because we still haven't touched a handful of things that we said we wanted to talk about. Right. But before we go, can you tell everybody about where they can find the updates on Booked, where it's gonna be showing, and anything Booked related? Yes,
Booked. Booked, you can please follow us on Instagram, Booked Film. That's BOOKED Film. Please follow us, and all information and stuff is there, our updates and everything. But Booked having a Los Angeles premiere on October 29th at 8 p.m. We have been accepted to the Awareness Film Festival. Again, the link to tickets and everything is going to be at the Regal LA Live Cinemas. All of that information is on Booked Film Instagram, and also our website, www.bookedfilm.com. We have a website. We sure do. That's www.bookedfilm.com. Please support us. We are trying to make sure we get awareness out about this unfortunate epidemic, pandemic, however you want to say it, like literally, and help save and rescue and recover survivors, because these are real people that need our help. Like, this is not just a movie or a show or anything like that. This is actual people that are right now in slavery in the United States, in Los Angeles, in Detroit, in Atlanta, in Chicago, in Ohio, like, and there are tons of people of color. They're not just runaways, not just crackheads, not just drug addicts. These are people that are being enslaved right now. So please follow us, Booked Film, on Instagram, and bookedfilm.com.
All right, Kev, what do you got? You got anything coming up, Kev?
Yeah, so People Serving People, the homeless shelter for people experiencing homelessness in Minneapolis. Awesome. We're having our gala end of this month. You can sign up and donate your time, your energy, or your financial resources at peopleservingpeople.org. I'll be one of the hosts, raising money, hanging out with some of the families as well, getting to know them better. And so we'd love for everyone's support through that. Otherwise, y'all can follow me on Instagram at Hercules Jackson, or on Twitter at _KevB_.
All right. And as always, if y'all let me take this down real quick. Boom. If y'all are watching this, then you already know where to follow me on Facebook and on YouTube. If you want to follow me on Instagram, it's the same thing as it says right here. Wait, right here, just all pushed together. As far as what I got coming up, besides, I'm actually in a hair show coming up. I'm in a hair show. And my birthday is coming up. I have no idea what I'm doing for it, but yeah.
Happy birthday to you.
Yeah, well, you know, it's not every birthday is a milestone now, but yeah. Other than that, just random shows here and there, birthday parties, bar mitzvahs,
with a mask.
You know, most definitely with a mask. But yeah, we most definitely got to get you back on, Shawntay. We most definitely got to get you back on.
Thank you for
thank you for coming, and thank everybody for watching. I know some people had questions in there we didn't get a chance to answer them, but we're gonna make sure we get her back on, and we're gonna answer some of these questions because some of these questions were questions that we were planning to ask anyway. So yeah, so once again, thank you, Shawntay. Thank you, Kev. And everybody who's watching, thank you. Anybody who watches this later on, if you enjoyed this, like it and share it, and follow the Jason Experience page. I will have continuous content coming up. So until then, God bless y'all. I'll see y'all next time.
Thank you.